Hello and welcome back to Jurassic County Busways, here at the headquarters at the Mallard Road Garage, where I have set up the beginnings of our fleet. We have the VEs. These are B7TL Enviro 400s, VE1 to VE24 cascaded from Solent Red. And we also have some VWs, which are cascaded from Midland Red. These were in the canon cascaded a little bit before the Omni-Cities, which is why they're already repainted into the Morse livery of Jurassic County. Right, so the VEs, there are 24 of them, and we're going to set them on their first assignment, which will be the 7 from Bournemouth Alum Chine to Christchurch Station. So let's go to the 7 Bournemouth to Christchurch. So, this is the 7 from Bournemouth Alum Chine through Westbourne, into Bournemouth proper, almost past the station, then through Boscombe, and into Christchurch. And it follows the 307 from Bournemouth out to here, just on this side of Christchurch, and then it goes around Christchurch to terminate at the station. That will be assigned from MR. And then let's go into the timetable. Well, hopefully I set the timetable up. I did. Very nice. Not VEHs. We want VEs. And we'll confirm that. Very nice. So, that's going to be what the VEs do. Let's go over to the 7 though, and activate it. I am not in the best of ways right now. I have a bit of a cough, but it should be fine, because it's better than it was yesterday. Which is also why this video is going out late. Because I'm in perhaps less than ship shape. Or is that the phrase? I feel like that's the phrase. I'm in less than a stunning way. But again, I should be fine. So, that's the allocation for the VEs. What about those VWs? Well, when the 7 is activated, we'll get to that. So, the route that we're going to use the VWs on is going to be the 11 from Bournemouth to Throop. Not Threep, Throop. There we go. Throop is up here. It's a little village. It's near our garage, which is over there on Mallard Road. And we're going to set it up sort of backwards. And I need to go to OpenStreetMap and find out where is a good place to turn this bus round. So let's go to OpenStreetMap. And and scroll down to find Bournemouth, which is there, and Throop is just up here. There we go. Oh, it's near Bournemouth Airport. Oh, that's fun. So, this is a place called Hicks Farm. So, yeah, I'll have the 11 sort of start and stop there. So, first stop is going to be there, and the destination is just going to say Throop. I was thinking maybe it says Throop Hicks Farm, but Throop I think is good enough. Wow, the game is laggy today. How long was it since I clicked that? I bet it's doing an autosave. So, we now have our stop, and yeah, it's doing an autosave. The camera's going everywhere, which is not what I wanted. But we want this stop to be called Throop. Not Throop, close bracket, just Throop. And it was at this point that my microphone, or OBS even, stopped taking input from my microphone. So I'm going to have to do post-commentary, which is something that I'm not particularly good at. So here is the route of the 11, from Bournemouth to Throop. It goes via a place called Charminster, which is why it probably goes a less direct way than it perhaps looks like it could go. But yeah, we want to go for Charminster. And also we want to save the more direct routing for a more mainline type service. The 11 is very much a secondary route. Timetable wise, I'm thinking it should run every 20 minutes during the day, but we'll get to that when the timetable is done. And the timetable is now done. So, it has a... so, the 11 only runs from Monday to Saturday. There is no Sunday service on the 11. To run Sunday services to Throop, we're going to be running a service 11A that will run to the shopping centre near the bus garage. I believe it's called Castle Point. And the way the timetable for the 11 works is that it has a core timetable that runs every 40 minutes, and that runs from first bus till last, inbound and outbound, and then it has an extra layer that runs also every 40 minutes with slightly reduced operating hours, so that for most of the day there is a bus every 20 minutes, but at the very extreme ends of service there are 40-minute gaps, and that just sort of eases the route into service in the morning and then eases it back out of service in the evening. And this is now the creation of the 11A, running from Castle Point Shopping Centre to Throop. So, as you can see, we come across the top here, past the bus garage on Mallard Road, putting a waypoint in so that it doesn't go down that little side road, because CityBus Manager has a habit of sending routes down little side roads. I think it's something to do with speed limit information not being a thing on those side roads, so it just takes the speed limit as infinite, which is obviously not the case. Making sure that we're serving all stops on that road, rather than skipping straight to the Epiphany School, stopping at the farm, and then going around Throop, like that. Now I forgot to put a waypoint in, coming around the back side of Throop. I don't know if I'll get around to fixing that. I should, but, you know, it might be one of those things. Coming back down past the school, onto out off of Muscliffe Lane again, remembering to put this waypoint in so that we don't take the little slip road, because I don't think it's a slip road. I think it's an access road for the houses on that corner. Then coming back down the road along the top, and I saw that bus stop was very close to the access road, so I just put another one in. And then stopping at that side of Castle Point, realising both of those stops have the same name, so changing this one so that it says Castle Point Sainsbury's, so that I don't get confused in making the timetable. And that is the 11A done. It's a very short route. The return, before I put any time points in, says half an hour, so we'll see what the timetable for the 11A looks like when it's done. And this is the completed timetable for the 11A. Obviously it only runs on Sundays, because the 11 runs Mondays to Saturdays, albeit not serving Castle Point Shopping Centre. So it runs from 6 until about 9 in each direction, with one bus. So the bus starts at Castle Point, and so the first service from Throop to Castle Point is about 20 minutes later than the first bus from Castle Point to Throop, because it's one bus in the circuit, just going backwards and forwards all day. So, with the 11A, it's now time to activate, or to start running, all of our services from today's episode so far. And it's now time to join the first 7 from Bournemouth Alum Chine over to Christchurch. So, coming out of Christchurch, we come around the bottom. Not Christchurch, from Alum Chine. I'm getting this wrong even when I'm doing it in post. Out of Alum Chine and in towards Westbourne. It's doing fairly well. And then just around this sort of big complex junction at Westbourne, I'm pretty sure I put the route in a little bit wrong. But you know, I mean, maybe I didn't. This junction looks really, really complex. But I think there's a chance that I did. But again, hopefully not. Coming into Bournemouth Town Centre, picking up quite a few people as we do so. I believe at this point the game has something of a moment. Something, you know, that we're used to from CityBus Manager, especially now that these saves are so advanced. They're very much in the late game. It's certainly not uncommon for this game to have many a moment during my episodes. But as we come into Bournemouth, it is sort of a point that I kept making when I was doing the live commentary, thinking the microphone was still properly, or thinking that OBS was still properly listening for my microphone. Point that I kept driving home is that the 7 has a very key role, in addition to being a mainline route in the Bournemouth City network, or the Jurassic City network as I'm going to be calling it. Not only as a mainline service as part of that network, but also to alleviate the 307, which is a less frequent regional service intended to connect from Bournemouth and Christchurch through to Lyndhurst. Because the 307 was the first route I put in, and it got very, very busy very, very quickly. So the 7 is like the first route as part of the city network, just to quickly alleviate congestion on the 307 by providing a more frequent service that people would be more inclined to use, as well as putting bigger buses on the 7 than are currently used on the 307. I believe these have an additional 20 capacity, and the frequency is significantly higher on the 7 than the 307. This is yet another moment that the game had. I think this one was an autosave, so we will let the game be for that one. So yeah. And now the game's come back. It's time to head into Boscombe, which is Boscombe's like, I guess it's a suburb of Bournemouth, and it's got this sort of big town centre arrangement going on with the bus station, and you know, we're definitely going to be seeing more buses into Boscombe than these first two, the 7 and the 307. But it's, you know, it's a matter of time before we see more services coming in through Boscombe. But now we are sort of leaving the Jurassic City, if you will, and heading over to Christchurch. So what I expect to happen is that demand for the 7 drops off around Boscombe, and demand for the 307 drops off to more expected regional levels at Christchurch, because Christchurch is where the 307 properly becomes a sort of rural service, and the 7 sort of, you know, it's getting to the end of its route. Coming in through Christchurch there, at Christchurch Station is going to be the 0558 departure, I think, and we head south through the bottom of Christchurch so that we can serve the town centre and the railway station without having to pull any funny U-turns. Indeed, that other bus is the 558, and we are going to be the 628. So now I'm not entirely sure how this route works. I thought it was every 10 minutes, with sort of a 20-minute staggered, sort of like 2 timetables that are every 20 minutes staggered, but I guess it's every 15 minutes with 2 half-hourly timetables. I really need to do my homework on this. But it is almost time for the for this to head back into Bournemouth. And indeed, we're now heading back into Bournemouth. There's a 307 just coming in from Lyndhurst. So we're going to be following behind it, but not too far. So that's going to be interesting to see just how well the 7 is at pinching passengers from the 307, which at this end of the route is sort of what it's been designed to do. Obviously we do our little funny town thing in Christchurch, but from there we follow the 307 turn for turn, not quite stop for stop, into Bournemouth. We make a couple of extra stops between Christchurch and Bournemouth, because when I was putting the 307 in, I didn't think that it was sort of suitable for it to serve every stop along its route, because a lot of them are very, very close together. They certainly felt far more fitting to be served by a local service than the 307, than the 307 is, because the 307 very much meant to be a longer distance regional route than the 7, which is a city service. Coming back through Boscombe, you can see the 307 down there is very busy, and the 7 is still quite quiet, but it is early days for the 7, and I have no doubt in my mind that the 7 will pick up in time. So, coming in down through the edge of Bournemouth now, and just coming in front of us there is an 11. So we're going to jump ship from the 7 any moment now, and join the 11 to head up to Throop. There we go. On to the 11 now, and that will leave at 7:15, so not got long to wait. In fact, it's already gone. And we're heading through Bournemouth to head up to Throop via... I forgot the name of the place. Is it Charminster? It's Charminster. So, as the game had another moment, the game certainly had another moment because I put it on 2x speed and the game did not appreciate that. So coming up through Charminster, I can't see it at full resolution because I'm playing it in the editor on a little window, but if I recall the numbers are doing quite well and the bar certainly seems to be a decent chunk of the way through. Although a lot of people just got off there at Bournemouth Station. Which, to be fair, very much expected because 7:30, it is kind of commuting time for those getting into London for 9. Because the train to Bournemouth, or the train from London to Bournemouth does take about an hour and a half. So that is fairly realistic, I'd say, for a lot of people to be getting off at Bournemouth Station at about 7:30. The game's behaviour with side streets is certainly playing up there with the 11 coming northbound. I should put some waypoints in. And just reaching the sort of road that crosses the top there to head across a little bit and then into Throop via... Does that area have a name? No, it doesn't, but the road is called Muscliffe Lane. So, there you go. Muscliffe Lane. That stop there on the middle of nowhere is a stop for Berry Hill Farm, which also in its catchment area includes basically all of the little houses and stuff on Muscliffe Lane that we weren't reaching by our other stops on Muscliffe Lane. So now heading back into Bournemouth, back down through Muscliffe Lane, and through the area that doesn't have a name but feels like it probably should. Oh, it's Muscliffe. Yeah, I'm dumb. That area is called Muscliffe. Duh. Coming back down through Charminster. Oh, the game did decide it wanted 2x speed. Oh, very nice. That certainly makes my life a lot easier because I don't have to keep talking. Because this post-commentary thing, I don't like it. If I'm ever fooling around with other programs to close them to free up RAM, I'm definitely going to be checking in future that OBS hasn't decided that my microphone should also die. But having reached Bournemouth, it's a good. I think that's a good place to end it. So, yeah, I will see you next week from City Bus Manager on the South Coast. Bye bye.